What is up, guys? So I thought today we'll just have a little bit of a laugh at my expense and tell you about 4 of the stupidest things I've done whilst I was an addict. There's no particular order. Let's get straight into it. So number 4, stupidest things I've done whilst I was an addict. Number 4 was practicing fireballs. Now, back when I was an alcoholic, I was on Valium, Xanax, pregabalin, gabapentin, and I was smoking crack every single day. And my mind was it was a total mess. And I convinced myself that I could genuinely, if I could muster enough chi and practiced, I could genuinely throw a fireball like Street Fighter, like Ken in Street Fighter or Ryu. And I was convinced I could do it. I'd even set up like empty vodka bottles to knock over, because I was convinced that if I could just summon enough energy, I could genuinely throw a fireball. And I used to sit smoking crack, practicing this for hours at a time. And at the end of it, I just collapsed on my bed, covered in sweat, just convinced that I was going to be able to do it. And that's how just ridiculous my thinking was whilst I was on drugs back then. I mean, I can laugh about it now, but it just shows you how it changes you into somebody that you're not. But anyway, that's number 4. Number 3 was back when I was a heroin addict. Now, as you can see with me, I'm fair-skinned, white as a ghost. Most of my family's ginger. You know, we don't do well in the sun. Now, when I was a heroin addict, I was very, very skinny, like dangerously skinny. And my diet was, I just used to, every couple of days, have a couple of fruit corner yogurts. And that was it. And I was so skinny, it was unbelievable. And I was white as a ghost. And I got it into my head, I thought, alright, you know what, I'm going to get a suntan, because I'm sick of being white. So I took my top off, and it was like 40 degrees, it was red hot. And I spent the whole day walking around in the sun. And people, as I walked past them, people were gasping because I was that skinny. They were going, oh. I thought, Jesus, I must be skinny. And even my mate, Cabbage, he says, Jesus Christ, he says, you look like you're going to die. And that's how skinny I was. And I was white as a ghost. So I spent the whole day with no top on in like 40 degrees heat. And by the end of the day, I was in some right pain. I went to sleep that night in agony, and I woke up the next morning, and my whole back, all my shoulders were just pure massive blisters, like water blisters. And I had to go to the hospital. And when I got to the hospital, all the nurses were saying, Jesus Christ, what you done to yourself? What you done? You need to get some food in you. You're a complete mess. And it was just, I was in agony. My whole back was like a giant scab. And it lasted for like weeks, for months. I was in so much pain. All the skin came off, and it was horrible. So yeah, that's the 3rd stupidest thing I've done on drugs. Number 2 was when I pepper sprayed myself. I thought, when I was younger, I was stupid. Right? I was always trying to impress people. I was always trying to show people how crazy I am. If somebody bet me something, or somebody dared me to do something, I'd do it, because that's how childish and ridiculous I was back then. And even, I remember once someone dared me to grow a ponytail, and I had a ponytail for like 6 years, just because somebody dared me to. And somebody dared me to pepper spray myself. They had this little bottle of pepper spray, and I grabbed it, and I said, watch this. And I didn't just give myself a little spray. I emptied the whole thing around my face. And I was laughing while I was doing it. But about 5 seconds later, I was on the floor in pure agony. I think that's possibly one of the worst pains I have ever felt. I totally overdid it. I thought I'd blinded myself. My eyes were burning. I do not recommend pepper spraying yourself. It hurt so bad. Probably one of the worst pains I've ever felt. And that was pretty stupid. So that's number 2. But number 1, the stupidest thing I have ever done was after a rave. I don't know if it was Uprising or Destruction. And we were all sat around. And one of my mates back then, Kigo, pulled out a bag of heroin. And the stupidest thing I have ever done in my life was try that heroin. Here I am, 25 years later, still battling it, still struggling. It took everything from me. and I'm still battling it now. I'm on a very low level of buprenorphine now. That's my next battle, is to come off that. But yeah, that's 4 stupid things I've done whilst I was on drugs. If you like this video, press the thumbs up. I appreciate you all. Bonjour.